Welcome back to the Cash Kicks channel for expert sports analysis, the best team picks, total picks, and in-depth breakdowns based on previous performances. Stay ahead of the game with our winning insights. And for even more exclusive parlay picks, check out Channel in membership. Dayton Flyers versus VCU Rams. Dayton arrives at 15-8 overall and 6-4 in conference play, sitting 5th in the A10 standings. VCU stands 17-6 and 8-2 in league action, good for third and firmly in the upper tier of the race behind St. Louis and George Mason. This is more than a February matchup. It's positioning. A VCU win tightens its grip near the top. A Dayton win pulls the Flyers within striking distance and reshapes the middle of the conference table. The numbers lean toward the home side. VCU carries a 74.3% win probability entering this matchup, a reflection of both performance and consistency. But Dayton has already proven it can score in bunches and dictate tempo. The Siegel Center will be loud. The stakes are real. VCU averages 83.3 points per game to Dayton's 76.2. That's a 7-point gap built on efficiency and pace. The Rams shoot 46.6% from the field, 36.6% from three, and 74.0% at the line. Dayton counters at 45.0% overall, 32.6% from deep, and a strong 76.0% from the stripe. The Flyers move the ball at 14.2 assists per game. VCU edges them at 14.5. On the glass, VCU holds the advantage, 36.4 rebounds per night compared to Dayton's 32.3. Defensively, Dayton forces more steals, 9.3 to 7.6, while VCU protects the rim slightly better, 4.4 blocks to 4.3. Turnovers are nearly even, with Dayton at 12.0 per game and VCU at 11.0. Individually, Dayton is powered by Javon Bennett's 16.1 points per game. He shoots 37.1% from the floor, but an elite 90.4% from the line, adding 3.2 assists and 2.6 rebounds. Deshane Montgomery contributes 15.0 points with 52.1% shooting and 37.1% from three, plus 3.7 rebounds and 2.3 assists. On the interior, Amel Litang anchors with 10.9 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks, while Keontae Jones grabs 5.7 boards per night. Dayton's identity is balance and defensive pressure, active hands, controlled half-court sets, and timely free-throw shooting. VCU's engine is Terrence Hill Jr., averaging 14.5 points, 2.7 assists, and 2.7 rebounds while shooting 47.8% from the field and nearly 40% from three. Lazar Djokovic provides 13.5 points and 5.5 rebounds on 55.2% shooting, giving the Rams efficient interior scoring. Jadrian Tracy adds 9.4 points, and Brandon Jennings chips in 8.8 with 1.5 steals per game, setting the tone defensively. This is a team that scores from multiple spots and stretches the floor while rebounding with purpose. The defining theme is clear: VCU's offensive efficiency and rebounding edge versus Dayton's defensive activity and free throw precision. One team wants pace and spacing, the other wants control and disruption. Recent form sharpens the picture. Dayton has gone 2-3 in its last 5. A 72-70 win over St. Bonaventure showed composure, but losses to St. Louis, 102-71, URI, 81-76, and St. Joseph's, 81-74, revealed defensive lapses, particularly in high-scoring stretches. The Flyers rebounded with a 67-64 win over LaSalle, tightening defensively and executing late. VCU, meanwhile, has won 4 of its last 5. Victories over Fordham, 63-59, Loyola Chicago, 89-75, Richmond, 77-69, and St. Joseph's, 79-72, highlight consistency. The lone loss came against Davidson, 75-69, a tight contest that exposed some half-court stagnation. Still, the Rams are trending upward, defending better late and scoring efficiently in transition. The spotlight falls on Bennett versus Hill Jr. Bennett is deliberate, crafty, and fearless at the line. Hill is smooth, efficient, and confident from distance. Bennett averages more points, but Hill shoots nearly 11 percentage points better from the field and stretches defenses at 39.9% from three. If Bennett controls tempo and earns trips to the stripe, Dayton stays close. If Hill finds rhythm early and forces defensive rotations, VCU's spacing becomes lethal. Montgomery's efficiency could quietly tilt this matchup. His 52.1% shooting gives Dayton a reliable secondary option, but Djokovic's 55.2% accuracy inside presents a challenge on the other end. Whichever forward establishes early presence will shift defensive attention. Tactically, watch the glass. VCU's +4 rebounding edge on average could create second-chance points and fuel transition. Dayton must gang rebound and turn steals into fast break opportunities. Ball security will matter. VCU protects the ball slightly better, and extra possessions at home are dangerous. Perimeter containment is another key. VCU shoots nearly 4 percentage points better from three. If Dayton's pressure defense closes out late, Hill and Tracy will capitalize. Conversely, if Dayton forces VCU into mid-range attempts and keeps the Rams off the line, the Flyers can grind this into a half-court battle. Depth and rhythm favor VCU. Multiple players average between 7 and 9 points, and the scoring doesn't stall when the starters rotate. Dayton relies more heavily on its top two scorers. Late-game execution will test composure. Expect a highly competitive and tightly contested first half, with both teams testing each other's discipline and composure. Dayton's defensive intensity and active hands should disrupt the early offensive rhythm, forcing turnovers and rushed possessions while setting a physical tone. However, as the game stretches across the full 40 minutes, VCU's consistent rebounding presence, disciplined floor spacing, and superior shot selection and efficiency are likely to gradually take control, allowing them to create separation down the stretch. After analyzing both teams, my first pick for this match is VCU winner. The difference will be efficiency and second chances. VCU's balance and control at home give it the edge in a game that tightens the conference race and reinforces the Rams as a top-tier contender. My second pick for this match is total over 146.5. UConn Huskies versus St. John's Red Storm, Madison Square Garden, sets the stage for a heavyweight Big East clash. Number 3, UConn arrives at 22-1 overall, and a commanding 12-0 in conference play, riding an 18-game surge and tightening its grip atop the standings. Number 22. St. John's stands 17-5, 10-1 in league action, just 2 games back and protecting its home floor with purpose. The numbers lean slightly toward the visitors, a narrow edge in projected win probability. But this is more than a ranking battle. It's control of the conference race, momentum heading toward March, and a statement under the brightest lights in college basketball. UConn brings balance and discipline. The Huskies score 79.6 points per game while allowing just 63.8, shooting 49% from the field and 36.4% from three. They distribute 18.5 assists a night, grab 37.2 rebounds, and generate 7.4 steals with 5.3 blocks. Their turnover number sits at 11.0 per game. Efficient, poised basketball. St. John's plays faster and louder offensively. The Red Storm average 84.6 points, shoot 46.3% overall and 35.5% from deep, while converting 73% at the line. They pull down 38.5 rebounds, hand out 16.0 assists, and force action with 8.1 steals and 5.0 blocks per game. They also allow 71.8 points, meaning their games tilt toward tempo and scoring bursts. Individually, UConn is powered by solo ball at 14.3 points per game on 40.8% shooting and 85.4% at the line. Taris Reed Jr. anchors the interior with 7.8 rebounds and 1.9 blocks while shooting 64.8% from the field. Alex Caravan adds 13.3 points and 40.8% from three, spacing the floor with precision. Silas DeMary Jr. orchestrates at 6.2 assists per game and 47.1% from beyond the arc, giving the Huskies surgical ball movement. St. John's counters with Zubi Ejiofor, a dominant two-way force averaging 15.7 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 2.0 blocks while shooting 52.7% from the floor. Bryce Hopkins contributes 13.6 points and 5.5 boards. Ian Jackson and Oziah Sellers both hover around 11 points per game, while Dylan Mitchell adds 7.0 rebounds and 1.3 steals, injecting athleticism into every possession. The defining theme is control versus pace. UConn's efficiency and defensive resistance against St. John's volume scoring and transition pressure. Precision versus pressure. Recent form only intensifies the narrative. UConn has won 5 straight, dispatching Xavier 92-60, Creighton 85-58, Providence 87-81, Villanova 75-67, and Georgetown 64-62. 3 of those were double-digit wins. The defense has tightened, holding 3 of the last 5 under 70 points, while the offense has remained balanced. St. John's has also won 5 in a row: DePaul 68-56, Butler 92-70, Xavier 88-83, Hall 65-60, and Villanova 86-79. The Red Storm are scoring in waves, topping 85 points 3 times in that stretch. They're playing with confidence, but their games are tighter defensively and often hinge on second-half runs. The spotlight centers on Ball versus Ejiofor. Ball's game is fluid and perimeter-oriented, comfortable in rhythm, deadly at the stripe, and effective working off screens. Ejiofor thrives inside, attacking the rim, finishing through contact, and protecting it on the other end. Reed's interior efficiency and Mitchell's rebounding athleticism add layers to that duel. DeMary's 6.2 assists against St. John's pressure defense becomes a silent but critical battle. If he controls tempo, UConn dictates flow. If St. John's speeds him up, the Garden tilts red. Tactically, UConn's 49% shooting against a St. John's defense, allowing 71.8 points, is the first hinge point. The Huskies' ability to share the ball, 18.5 assists per game, tests the Red Storm's perimeter containment. On the other side, St. John's rebounding edge, 38.5 per game, challenges UConn's front court depth. Second chance points and transition lanes could swing momentum quickly. Turnovers will play a pivotal role in shaping this matchup. St. John's thrives on defensive disruption, generating 8.1 steals per game by applying relentless ball pressure and jumping passing lanes. When that activity turns into transition opportunities and easy baskets, the pace accelerates and clearly favors the home team's energy and crowd momentum. However, if UConn remains poised, limits live ball turnovers, and forces the game into controlled half-court possessions, the dynamic shifts significantly. In a structured setting, their defensive discipline takes over. Anchored by Reed's rim protection, strong help-side positioning, and crisp, well-timed rotations that shrink driving lanes and contest every bench production and late-game execution also lean toward UConn's balance. They've closed tight games methodically, relying on spacing and free-throw accuracy. St. John's feeds off energy and runs, but if forced into a possession-by-possession grind, the margin narrows. Expect a charged atmosphere and early runs from both sides. St. John's will push pace and attack the glass. UConn will absorb, adjust, and execute. After analyzing both teams, my first pick for this match is UConn winner. The Huskies' efficiency, defensive consistency, and composure in critical stretches provide the edge. In a high-stakes conference showdown, precision wins over pace, and UConn walks out of the Garden still in full control of the Big East race. My second pick for this match is total over 142.5. Murray State Racers versus Southern Illinois Salukis. Murray State arrives at 17-7 overall, 9-4 in conference play, sitting second in the MVC standings. Southern Illinois stands at 10-13 overall and 4-8 in the league, 8th in the table, fighting to stay relevant in the middle tier. Belmont leads the conference at 11-2, so every result matters for positioning. For Murray State, this is about keeping pressure on the top and solidifying a top 2 seed. For Southern Illinois, it's about protecting home floor and salvaging momentum. The matchup metrics lean slightly toward the Racers, a narrow edge in win probability, just over 53%. But the margin suggests this is anything but secure. Murray State scores 86.1 points per game, a high-octane offense built on rhythm and spacing. They shoot 47% from the field, 34.9% from 3, and 76.6% at the line. They distribute 14.5 assists per night, grab 38.0 rebounds, force 5.9 steals, and protect the rim with 4.1 blocks, though they do allow 79.0 points per game and commit 12.0 turnovers. Southern Illinois plays at a slower, more controlled pace. The Salukis average 73.7 points, shoot 46% from the floor, 28.4% from deep, and 66.3% from the line. They collect 38.0 rebounds per game, dish 13.8 assists, and create 8.0 steals with 3.8 blocks, while surrendering 71.0 points per contest. Turnovers sit at 12.7 per game. The Racers lean into offensive volume. Guard Jay Jackson sets the tone with 16.6 points per game on 42% shooting, nearly 40% from 3, and 86.3% at the stripe. He adds 2.8 assists and 2.5 rebounds. Roman Doman contributes 13.6 points on 53.8% shooting and 38.7% from deep, while Fred King anchors inside with 13.5 points, 8.9 rebounds, and 1.9 blocks, shooting an efficient 65.6% from the field. Lane Taylor runs the offense with 3.8 assists per game. Southern Illinois counters with balance. Quetron House averages 13.9 points, 3.1 assists, and 3.0 rebounds, shooting 47.4% overall and 74.1% from the line. He also leads with 1.8 steals per game, setting a defensive tone. Forward Rojays Alibe adds 9.8 points and 7.0 rebounds, while Drew Steffe chips in 9.4 points and 2.7 assists. Max Picard supplies interior resistance with 0.9 blocks per night. Stylistically, this is pace versus pressure. Murray State wants flow, early offense, paint touches, kickouts to shooters. Southern Illinois thrives on disruption, active hands, half-court defense, and keeping the scoreboard manageable. Murray State is 2-3 in its last 5. They beat UIC 81-74, but suffered a 22-point loss to Belmont and dropped games to Illinois State and UNI before falling to Drake 101-90. Defense has been the issue, allowing 90 or more in 2 of those losses. Southern Illinois is 2-3 as well, but the margins tell a different story. They defeated Illinois State 54-50 and UNI 65-50, holding both under 65 points. Losses to UIC, Valparaiso, and Belmont came by single digits or late-game slips. Their defense is tightening. Scoring remains inconsistent. The spotlight centers on Jackson and House, 2 guards who dictate tempo differently. Jackson is a rhythm scorer, lethal from deep, capable of flipping a quarter with consecutive threes. His 86% free throw mark makes him steady late. House is more measured, probing off the dribble, creating contact, and setting up teammates. He's the defensive tone setter as well, nearly 2 steals per game. If Jackson finds space in transition, Murray State can stretch this quickly. If House controls pace and turns live ball steals into controlled possessions, Southern Illinois can grind it down. The tactical hinge lies in efficiency versus resistance. Murray State's 86.1 points per game meets a defense allowing just 71.0. Southern Illinois forces 8.0 steals per game. If they convert those into points, they neutralize the scoring gap. But their 28.4% three-point shooting and 66.3% free throw mark create pressure in tight finishes. On paper, the rebounding numbers are nearly identical at 38 per game, suggesting neither side holds a clear statistical edge on the glass. However, King's physical interior presence and timing around the rim could quietly swing second-chance opportunities, especially in tight stretches where extra possessions become magnified. Turnover margins are also almost even, which places even greater emphasis on shot selection and overall efficiency. If the racers move the ball with precision, maintain proper spacing, and limit costly live ball giveaways, their offensive flow can stretch the defense and create high-quality looks. Conversely, if the Salukis successfully pack the paint, disrupt driving lanes, and force Murray State into contested perimeter jumpers, the tempo slows and the game transforms into a deliberate half-court chess match where execution and patience ultimately decide the outcome. Bench impact and late-game execution favor Murray State's scoring depth, but Southern Illinois' defensive discipline at home cannot be dismissed. Murray State's offensive ceiling ultimately separates the sides. The Racers' perimeter efficiency and interior finishing should overcome the Salukis' defensive grit. After analyzing both teams, my first pick for this match is Murray State winner. The difference is shot-making, rhythm, spacing, and just enough defensive stops to close it out. My second pick for this match is total over 155.5. Bradley Braves versus Northern Iowa Panthers. Bradley arrives at 16-8 overall and 9-4 in conference play, sitting third in the MVC standings. Northern Iowa stands at 14-9, 6-6 in the league, fifth in the table, and fighting to climb back into the upper tier. The analytics lean toward the home side, giving the Panthers a clear edge at roughly 69.8% to Bradley's 30.2%. But the standings tell you this is tighter than that. A top-3 team trying to strengthen its position against a dangerous middle-of-the-pack group looking to make a statement on its home floor. For Bradley, this is about control, holding ground near the top. For Northern Iowa, it's about opportunity, knocking off a contender and reshaping the conference race. Bradley scores 77.8 points per game while allowing 72.9. Northern Iowa averages 67.1 and gives up just 60.4. That contrast defines the tempo battle immediately. Bradley wants flow and pace. Northern Iowa prefers structure and defensive resistance. Efficiency splits are revealing. The Panthers shoot 45.4% from the field to Bradley's 43.7%. From 3, Northern Iowa hits 33.3%, Bradley 35.2%. At the line, Bradley holds the edge at 73.0% compared to Northern Iowa's 67.3%. Bradley moves the ball well at 12.8 assists per game, but Northern Iowa is sharper at 14.5. On the glass, Bradley averages 34.9 rebounds to UNI's 32.9. Turnovers sit even at 9.5 per game for both teams. Defensively, Bradley produces 8.4 steals and 2.9 blocks, while Northern Iowa brings 6.6 steals and 3.2 blocks. The offensive focal points are clear. Jaquan Johnson leads Bradley with 16.3 points per game on 43.4% shooting, adding 3.5 assists, 4.2 rebounds, and 2.9 steals. He's the engine. Trey Campbell runs Northern Iowa with 13.4 points, and 3.8 assists on 42.6% shooting and 77.3% from the line. Leon Bond III anchors the interior with 11.4 points and 5.7 rebounds while shooting 45.6%. Bradley's Amit Janovic controls the paint at 5.5 boards per night and shoots nearly 49.6% from the field, adding 1.2 blocks. The stylistic divide is unmistakable. Bradley leans into offensive rhythm, multiple ball handlers, perimeter spacing, pressure defense. Northern Iowa builds from defense outward, lower scoring, patient possessions, disciplined shot selection, and rim protection. The defining theme, Bradley's high-scoring attack versus Northern Iowa's top-tier defensive resistance. Recent form sharpens the tension. Bradley has won 3 of its last 5, a 72-65 win over Valparaiso, an 87-73 road win at Drake, and a 75-68 win over Indiana State. But there are cracks, an 85-70 loss to UIC, and an 88-62 setback at Illinois State. Offensive production swings dramatically depending on shooting rhythm. Northern Iowa is 2-3 in its last 5, but trending upward after an 81-76 win over Murray State and a 71-55 victory over Evansville. Losses to Southern Illinois, Illinois State, and Valparaiso exposed scoring droughts. Yet defensively, they've stayed firm, rarely allowing games to spiral. The Panthers are grinding. Bradley is riding waves. The star duel centers on Johnson and Campbell. Johnson is the more explosive scorer, capable of stretching the floor with 37.6% from 3 and attacking gaps in transition. He adds defensive disruption with nearly 3 steals per game. Campbell is more controlled, 3.8 assists, steady 77% at the line, capable of orchestrating in half-court sets. Johnson thrives in tempo. Campbell thrives in control. Inside, Janovic versus Bond III will quietly matter just as much. Bond's 5.7 rebounds and 0.8 blocks represent Northern Iowa's defensive backbone. Janovic's efficiency and 5.5 boards give Bradley second-chance opportunities. If Bradley wins the interior margin, their pace becomes sustainable. First, efficiency versus resistance. Bradley's 77.8-point offense meets a defense surrendering just 60.4. If Northern Iowa can keep Bradley below its average and force half-court possessions, the Panthers dictate tempo. Second, rebounding control. Bradley's +2 rebounding margin over UN. I may seem small, but extra possessions could tilt a low-possession game dramatically. Third, ball movement and spacing. UNI averages more assists and shoots a higher overall percentage. If they generate clean looks off inside-out action, Bradley's perimeter pressure becomes less impactful. Bench depth gives Bradley a slight edge in overall scoring flexibility, allowing them to mix lineups and maintain offensive pressure without a dramatic drop-off. That versatility can be valuable over long stretches, particularly when starters need rest or foul trouble reshapes rotations. However, Northern Iowa counters with a disciplined defensive structure and the steadying influence of its home environment, both of which tend to provide late-game composure and execution under pressure. The true X factor is three-point rhythm. Bradley shoots 35.2% from beyond the arc, a mark that can dramatically alter spacing. If that percentage climbs early and outside shots begin to fall, UNI's compact defensive shell is forced to extend, opening driving lanes and interior gaps. If the shooting cools instead, the floor shrinks, possessions become more methodical, and the contest settles into a physical, possession-by-possession grind, where defensive stops and rebounding carry added weight. Expect a controlled first half, with Northern Iowa compressing space and Bradley probing for pace. In the second half, the game will hinge on whether Johnson can create efficient offense against disciplined rotations. After analyzing both teams, my first pick for this match is UNI winner, the Panthers' defensive efficiency, superior field goal percentage, and home floor composure narrow the margin and control tempo just enough. Bradley keeps it tight through perimeter shot making, but Northern Iowa's structure and shot selection deliver the final edge in a conference battle that feels bigger than one night. My second pick for this match is total over 129.5.